Dear altar servers of St. Mary of the Angels Basilica, you are now watching the altar server training video, where we will learn how to serve for Sunday Mass. Did you ever wonder why altar servers do what they do? In this training video, we will be explaining the different postures, gestures, actions, and vessels used during the Mass. If you listen carefully, you'll be able to anticipate and understand the different parts of the liturgy. You'll learn exactly what you need to know from the moment you put on your alb to the moment you extinguish the candles after Mass. Are you ready? Let's go. 15 minutes before Mass, you will enter the working sacristy, where you will find your alb, cincture, and cross. Our dress code now is... Wait, St. Mary of the Angels Basilica has a dress code? That's right. We highly encourage you to wear dress pants, dress shoes, and a plain, solid-colored t-shirt. Whoops, it looks like one of our altar servers is wearing stripes. Let's see if Father notices later. Now, find an alb size which best fits you, one that reaches down to your ankles. Then, find a cross and slide it under your hood. Then grab a cincture and tie it nice and snug around your waist, with the cord hanging down to the left side. Good job! Now you're all ready to walk to the sacristy. When you walk through the sanctuary and past the tabernacle, genuflect on your right knee. Then, as you walk into the sacristy, immediately to your left side, you will find a sign-in sheet. Please sign in. After you finish signing in, go and greet Father and whoever else might be in the sacristy. All right, the clock is ticking before Mass. You will need to light the candles, the 2 candles near the altar, and the candles used during the procession. During Advent and Easter, there will be some extra candles to light, the Advent wreath and the Paschal candle. Whoever is the tallest altar server should at this time walk over and grab the cross for the procession. Now you're all ready to line up with Father for the procession. You will line up in the back of the church. The crucifer, or cross-bearer, will lead the procession, followed by the 2 lucifers, or candle bearers. When the lyrics of the song begin and the priest gives the okay, you may begin the procession. When you reach the altar, the cross-bearer will turn to the right, and the candle bearers will turn to the left. Candle bearers, once you put your candles away behind the pulpit, you can find your seat. Crucifer, once you place the cross in its stand, find and hold the Roman Missal on the small table. Then find your seat. Father will need the Missal once he says, "Let us pray." On cue, you will hold the Missal for Father. Stand in front of him at a 45-degree angle. Once Father finishes the prayer, you can put away the Missal and then sit down for the readings. Phew, that's a lot. Let's take a break and listen to a quick tip from Father David.
So Sam, I notice sometimes you don't know what to do with your hands, and a good thing to do is either to put them together like this during the Mass, or if you feel more comfortable, you can do it like this, and then that way you won't be playing with your rope and you'll be more attentive to the Mass.
All right, we're ready to keep going. During the Liturgy of the Word, use good posture and listen attentively to the readings, song, gospel, and homily. Then, say the creed with Father and listen to the intercessions. Here's where you'll have to pay special attention. Listen for the Father Nelson Baker prayer. At the end of this prayer, you will walk to the credence table. After the Father Nelson Baker prayer, one of the altar servers will give Father the chalice and paten, and the other will give the ciboria. After Father receives the gifts, you will then make a simple bow together and walk back to the credence table. Next, Father will need the 2 goblets for the wine. Go and carry them to Father, bow, walk back, and then wait. During the 4 p.m. vigil, 9 a.m., and 11 a.m. masses, the cross-bearer will lead the offertory procession. Once the usher, during the second collection, reaches the break in the pews, you will get up, grab the cross, and walk to the break. And then wait for the two people to come up and join you. At this time, the two altar servers who have been waiting will walk to the front of the altar and stand on either side of Father, ready to receive the gifts. The cross bearer will then exit to the right side, return the cross, and sit down. His job is done. With the two gifts you were just given, you will walk to the altar and hand them to Father. Father will immediately need the water cruet, so one of you bow, grab the water, and have it ready for Father. Alright, you're almost done. Bow together and walk back and get ready for the lavabo to wash Father's hands. You may have to wait just a minute for Father, but be ready for him. You can start walking as soon as he turns towards you. After you bow and put everything back, you're done. You can walk back to your pew and participate in the next part of the Mass. Wow, that's a lot of information to take in. Now, you'll be using the simple bow most often, and this bow is contrasted with a profound bow. A simple bow consists of a slight nod of the head and upper body, and is used to reverence the altar or priest. A profound bow, on the other hand, consists of a more pronounced bending of the upper body, and is used to reverence the Eucharist during the liturgy. Why don't we quickly go through it one more time, but from a bird's eye view? First, bring the chalice, paten, and ciboria to Father. The general layout of the offertory is Father will need everything having to do with bread, then everything having to do with wine, and then wash his hands. Alright, so now grab the goblets for Father. Bow and come back. Crossbearer, watch out for the usher during the second collection in order to take the cross for the offertory procession. The two other altar servers will follow Father and receive the gifts. Next, give Father the gifts. Quickly retrieve the water. And wash his hands. If there is anything still on the altar, which is no longer needed, go and put it back on the credence table. That's the offertory in a nutshell. It's time for a quick tip from Father David.
Look at Joey. He's got a nice, you can't see his shirt through his alb. Maybe the next time you can find one that's solid color, with no words on it, no stripes, and then it won't show through your alb. Thank you.
All right, the Mass continues. Your next job will be to ring the bells during the consecration, when the bread and wine are transubstantiated into the body and blood of Christ. Depending on the priest, you may have to ring the bells a little differently. For Father David, you will give 3 long rings for each elevation. For Father Greg and most other priests, you will give 1 short ring for each elevation. If you're not sure which type to do, ask the priest before Mass for his preference.
Lord,
After the Our Father prayer and the sign of
let us
peace,
offer one another a
you
sign
will
of
stand
Christ's
in
peace.
front of the kneelers. Cross-bear, you will cross to the other side, bow, and join the others. After receiving the body and blood of Christ, you may return to your seats. At this time, you may kneel down and pray for a moment. As soon as Father is finished distributing communion and walks up to the sanctuary, be ready to grab the water and give it to Father, who will cleanse the chalice. You may have to pour the water for him as well. After putting away the water, go back to the altar and put the chalice away. Then you can go back to your seat and continue praying. After communion, there will be announcements during which you will light the processional candles and prepare the missal. Crossbearer, as soon as Father finishes the announcements, you will walk to Father on the cue. Let us pray.
Let us pray.
Once the prayer is finished, you will put the missal
The
away
Lord be with you.
and immediately grab the cross for the procession.
Son,
And everyone begin lining up for the
Mass
procession,
ended, go
facing
in
the
peace.
altar. When Father genuflects, you may begin processing towards the back of the church. Good job. The Mass itself is over. Feel free to blow out your candles. Now, put away the cross and candles, and grab the used matches along the way. Then finally, extinguish the candles, and you're ready to put away your alb. Very neatly, extremely neatly, put away your cross, cincture, and hang up your alb. If you find anything not where it's supposed to be, please do us a favor and put them back as well. You're done! Great job. Let's listen to some parting words from Father David.
Thank you, boys, for serving at the altar today. You know, it's a privilege and a blessing to be able to serve the Lord at the altar. Just let's also continue, as you are, be mindful of your appearance. Maybe watch out for those shirts, you know, so that they don't show through, because we are representing the Lord at the altar. You know, you're like little angels, you could say, serving the Lord. And so I thank you for your service. We are a basilica, and we also honor Mary, who is the Queen of Angels at this place. And so I just ask you to maybe say a prayer before you come out to the altar and serve, and be mindful of where you are and who are you representing. You know, you're here before the Lord. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.